I'll be honest, for the last 2 months, I've not been productive at all. I've not been to the gym for 2 months, I've not gone boxing for 2 months, and instead of waking up at 6:30 every morning, I've been lying in bed, waking up at 8 AM. My daily routine is basically all over the place. I've just been incredibly unproductive because about 2 months ago, I had a kind of a small back injury, meaning that basically I couldn't sit down for more than 30 minutes before it being very painful. So basically, I was working from my bed for much of the day, which of course is not the most productive work environment. Anyway, today, fortunately, my back is pretty much back to normal, and I'm purposely putting this out there so you guys keep me accountable. I'm going to get my life back on track. I'm going to put together a vision board to redesign my life and show you the process that I go through so that in just 30 days, I'll transform my life from being basically very unproductive to having all 4 of my pillars in check: health, wealth, people, and happiness, in the hope that if any of you are also just kind of letting life pass you by and you're not living your life to the fullest, then you can also upgrade your own life in just 30 days. So let's hop over to my laptop and I'll show you what I've been working on over the last few days. So switching over to Millernote, this is my home board where I can organize my big creative projects like my Transform Your Grades course, the productivity algorithm, and my Skillshare courses. I can also have my video scripts, film brainstorming, and topic research boards here. But my favorite page is probably the vision board, which brings us on to the first step and arguably the most important step I do myself when planning to turn my own life around is creating a vision. And I love this step. This is where the motivation and drive will come from because right now, you're literally designing your life. As mentioned earlier, I'm using Millernote, who have kindly sponsored this video, to create my plan because I want complete creative control, and a boring Word document just won't cut it. Millernote is a digital tool for organizing your creative projects, and it's incredibly easy to use with 100 built-in templates for designers, photographers, or students working on more creative tasks. It's also particularly helpful if you're working in a team because you can share your work with your team within minutes. Millernote is completely free with no time limit and no card details are needed. I'll drop a link in the description, so feel free to download it and follow along with me to create your own 30-day plan. So this is my vision board. It's essentially what I want my life to be like in 1 to 5 years. And this is why Millernote is perfect for this kind of creative task. On Millernote, you can literally just drag images from your laptop or your PC into an empty space on your board and crop, edit, or resize them how you like. So for me, I have a picture of my team there because I want to continue building teams of incredible people. I have a selfie that I took back in 2013 of my first day in Thailand, and that trip to Southeast Asia went on to change the course of my life, so it's actually quite a poignant picture. I also have the Playstack logo, a company that I founded a few months ago, and obviously everyone's vision board will be different, but the main point here is that when you look at it, it should inspire you, right? It should visually represent where you want your life to be in, let's say, 1 to 5 years' time. And as a bonus, it is actually quite fun putting together a vision board. And so the second thing I do to create my 30-day plan, I do this by making 4 very simple columns by dragging the columns tool to the page. The columns will be called vision, goals, daily routine, and daily habits. My next step is to write a list in the vision column of all the things you want to have happen, preferably in the next 1 to 5 years. So for me, the single most important thing on this list is continuing to wake up every single morning, going to a job that I absolutely love. Another thing I'm working on is writing a book, so I'd love to have that published within the next couple of years. So after you have your vision, which is kind of a broad view of the direction you want your life to be heading, the next step is to make that vision a lot clearer with tangible goals. Now, these goals should generally be measurable, tangible, and achievable. And this is important because when you're designing your life, you need to be 100% clear on where you're heading, right? So writer Simon Sinek had a really good analogy on this.
Imagine we're standing in a big empty room, right? And we're standing in one corner and I give you a simple instruction. I want you to go to that corner in a straight line, right? off you go. No big deal, right? Without telling you, I slip a chair in front of you. What do? You go around the chair. Now, you just disobeyed what I told you to do. I told you to go to that corner straight line. But this is the amazing things about human beings, which is when we're given a clear destination, we use our own creativity and our own sense of innovation and our own problem-solving abilities to overcome obstacles to get to the destination.
In other words, the destination is more important than how you get there. If you have a clear destination, any obstacles that are thrown at you, they're pretty easy to overcome. And that's why having goals, i.e. a clear destination, is so important. As for some of my goals, one of my goals is to grow PlayStack to 8 clients by the 31st of December. It's a brand new company. We currently have 2 clients on 12-month contracts with us, which is a good start, but I'm really aiming for 8 before the end of the year. I'm also currently creating a Skillshare course, which I want to complete by the end of the year also. And I also want to actually start the writing process of the book by the end of January next year. So the first 2 steps of designing my life, vision and goals, are both on a macro level. So let's zoom in and look at the day-to-day actions that are required in order to make these visions happen, starting with my daily routine. Having an effective daily routine is one of the most important things when it comes to turning your life around, right? So that's because it really focuses on the fundamentals. It makes sure that you're getting enough sleep. It makes sure that you're working enough hours, but also so you're not overworking and burning out. And it also helps with reducing friction within your life. So for example, when I was at university, I arrived at the library at 7:30 a.m. every single day, 7 days a week. And at first it was difficult, but after a few weeks, because it was my daily routine, I did it every day. It turned into a habit. And so when I woke up in the morning, my mind and body just knew that it was time to go to the library. No procrastination, no deciding whether or not I should actually go to the library. I just went without thinking, an automated habit, right? So my daily routine now is very simple. I wake up at 6:30 a.m, I go straight to the gym, then I arrive at the office or a coffee shop for 5 hours of deep work. I then take a break, and at 2:30 p.m, I do another 4 to 5 hours of work. At 7 p.m, I go boxing, and basically I'm in bed by 9:30 a.m, and that's my routine. It will basically optimize my life for 4 things: my sleep, my work, my exercise, and my rest. So some days I won't go boxing, instead I'll go out with friends, or some days in the week I'll take a rest from the gym, so I'll go to the office earlier in the morning. So it's not set in stone, right? But that's by the design. I like to keep things relatively flexible, especially if unexpected things pop up like meetings with a client. Daily habits. Throughout the whole process of designing your life, we start off super macro, and in the 4th stage, we're zooming into the daily habits that we're doing daily. So I've made these into a checklist so I can tick them off when I've achieved them that day. The idea here is that if you achieve all your daily habits and you follow your daily routine, if you stay consistent, then eventually you'll achieve your goals and then you'll achieve your vision. So all of these 4 components work together. My first daily habit is wake up at 6:30 a.m. and be asleep by 10:30 p.m. because that, for me at least, is kind of fundamental to my productivity. If I start going to bed at 1 or 2 in the morning, the next day my productivity will take a hit. I've also added 5 hours of deep work from Monday to Saturday, and deep work is essentially when you're completely zoned in on the task at hand. I don't want to be working 12 hours a day or 14 hours a day because I want my life to be more balanced between work, exercising, socializing. Basically, I want a balanced life, right? And that means if I'm decreasing my work hours, it's very important to me that the hours that I do work are super focused. So my aim really is, if I'm working 9.5 hours a day, but 5 of those are super focused, then I want to have as much output as someone else who's working 12 plus hours a day. At least that's the idea. So if you strip it right down, turning your life around is actually ridiculously simple. We're always looking for that kind of magic fix, but what this 30-day plan is about is maintaining a positive, elevated state where you're completely focused on your goals and on what you want to happen. If you can complete 30 days, then it's a lot easier to continue that for years. It's also important that you set a time frame and a deadline. So the deadline is important to help keep you focused. And for me, challenging myself to keep this routine and these daily habits for 30 days is challenging, but at the same time, very achievable. So if you do want to create your own 30-day plan, Millernote is available for free with no time limit. Sign up using the link in the description and start your next creative project. And if you are struggling to manage your time, I did actually make a video recently called How I Manage My Time, and I focused it more on streamlining your life, meaning there are strategies that will help you work less but output more. You can click on the card on the screen to watch that. Alternatively, I made another video called How I Woke Up at 4:45 AM for 906 days. That's actually one of my fastest growing videos right now. Again, you can click on the card on the screen to watch that, and whichever video you choose, I'll see you over there.